Hello, Pahrump. We're back for the third segment of this show tonight. We've had some very interesting questions related to cannabis, Epsom salts, what type of stuff we do at the Independent Wellness Center. So I feel the show is going very well, but again, I'm only as good as the questions that I get from my audience. So feel free to call 727-8750. I'm going to bust into a subject that's near and dear to me, but before I do that, my partner in crime just showed up, Dr. Reiner, and I promise you he's dressed for the show. Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Trying to make it in here.
Hey, I'm excited because we're 2 weeks away from football season starting, guys, and that's really, one of my favorite subjects because I had such extensive experience working with some of the ball clubs over in Southern California. Hello, Mike.
Well,
Welcome back. Welcome back.
He hasn't done a mic check. I don't think I turned it on yet, so hang on. Turn it on.
We got a new hockey team in town. I'm excited about that. Football season for the high school is starting up. So, school starts in 2 weeks. I can't even believe it. It's just amazing how fast the time has gone. Welcome.
Well, I'm back.
Welcome.
I'm back.
Now, earlier tonight, Ray called and wanted to know, Epsom salts is he wanted to mix it up and drink it for bowel movements and stuff like that. And I told him I thought there were better things that he could use.
I've heard of people doing that. I don't know whether the salts get absorbed. That's the thing. I don't know whether or not, what's in Epsom salts. And if it's not absorbable, then it certainly will pull water out of the bowel. And then it will have a catharsis. And so, the colon's main function is to absorb water.
What's the side effects of something like that?
Well, like I said, I've never looked at the ingredients on Epsom salt.
Yeah,
so I know people soak in it. I know it's like a hot bath or a salt bath.
Yeah, we discussed that.
And I think that's helpful, but I don't know what's in Epsom salt and say whether or not you absorb that. Because if it has a high salt content and you're absorbing it, I'll have to research that and get back to you. I don't know. But anyway, I showed up late because I came back in town on Sunday and I got this cold right before I came back, and so I did telemedicine today at the office, and I'm a little under the weather, but
yeah, but you look marvelous.
Yeah, well, I was joking with somebody else. I said, I'm going to be turning 60 next month. And I said, oh, well, that's kind of interesting because I'll be doing that next year. And they said, well, you look pretty good for 60. And I'm like, well, that's okay. I'm happy to look a few years younger than my age. So, but I think one of the things that's good for bowel movements, I think, is Miralax or Glycolax. I like that. I recommend that all to my patients. They'll have a label on all those agents because they don't want you to use them for if you've got a colon cancer or a blockage. So a lot of people will use those products, and if you're using them and you're just continue to do that, you may mask the symptoms of a colon cancer, because sometimes colon cancer has a circumferential growth, and so it gradually blocks the colon off. It doesn't grow outward and do that. So hopefully that's what you're doing, and Glycolax has no Metamucil, and those other products are basically they're vegetable laxatives.
Bulk, yeah.
And so they form gas. Metamucil apparently is the refinement of psyllium fiber. I had a drug rep for Metamucil tell me that, and basically it is the refinement. So it produces the least amount of gas of the other vegetable softeners, but Miralax and Glycolax actually are glycolated proteins, so they hold water into the colon. So that's interesting. I don't know, Ray, if you've tried it, more power to you. I just don't know what's in Epsom salt. So, do you?
I don't. I would be worried about the salt content.
Yeah.
Is what I would be worried about. I remember back in the day, though, I remember a spoonful of castor oil or
Oh, God,
mineral
yeah.
oil back in the day, and that's kind of what it put me in mind of.
Yep.
You know, for actually, my grandmother used castor oil for whatever was wrong with you.
Well,
And I think you got well because it tasted so bad, you just forced yourself to get well.
if it doesn't kill you, it'll make you stronger, right?
Yeah.
It'll certainly make you have a bowel movement. And what's the story? You know, the colon is such a good absorber of water. What was that story about the nurse? I guess they were stranded out on the ocean, and there was water everywhere but nowhere to drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she gave all of her family saltwater enemas, and the colon absorbed the water out of the salt water. If you drank it this way, you would die. But because it went into the colon absorbed all the water.
And not the salt.
Not the salt. So, so if you're ever thirsty and you got a tube and you want to shove it up the rear end to give yourself water.
Welcome back, Mike.
Yeah, that's the way to do
Hey,
it.
Marvin.
Marvin's on the phone.
Yep, that's me.
Well,
Are you there?
we're here.
Oh, I didn't know if you're going to continue that in or not.
Yeah.
I talked to you a couple of weeks ago about my back. Now, you know about, I missed out on what, I just turned it over there when you were talking about Epsom salts. Now, my mother, way back in the 30s, I guess, and 40s, used to, we sprang our wrists or something like that.
Yeah.
Soak it in Epsom salts. I've been told that here, too. Is that a good thing to do? Do you have anything against it?
I don't have anything against it. I have patients that do it all the time, Marvin. Related to your low back, you know, you'd have to get into a tepid bathtub or something to utilize it. Some people swear by it. Some people swear by Epsom salts. So, and I know if I recall your case, you were pretty frustrated with where you were at as far as not getting any better. I hope that you've got better since we talked to you last.
No, in fact, I got worse even last night. I went to bed at 10 o'clock. I was up before 12. I couldn't get back to sleep. All across my back, lower back, I had a lot of pain. I got up at 1 o'clock and came in and sat down on the couch for the rest of the night. Usually it's only on the left side, like I had told you a couple of weeks ago, but I mean, it went all the way across my back. And we were talking about laser surgery, and you had said it's not medically, how do you call it? What do you call it?
Well,
Approved?
it hasn't been accepted by Medicare as far as I understand.
Yes, okay, well, they don't have anything around here that I know of,
Not in Pahrump, no.
or in Las Vegas either.
They have the laser spine center over in Vegas.
Where?
I don't know where it's at, but I've seen it advertised.
I haven't. I've seen laser eye, but I haven't seen the back. And every place I called in Las Vegas, the medical association, I got on that and asked them about it. They didn't know of any place in Las Vegas that has laser back surgery.
I think at Laser Spine Institute's in Arizona.
Is it? I thought there
Yes.
was one in Vegas now.
I think it's in Arizona because I remember a patient saying they were going to go down there. So I don't know more other than it's down in Arizona, and Medicare, it's not an approved Medicare treatment. So you're paying for it out of pocket. It's very expensive. So at this point, I would say you have to do your research, and you have to be very, very careful about what you're being involved in because you're paying cash for it.
Yeah, well, to go down there, it's a town outside of Phoenix.
Yeah.
Is what that laser back, what they advertise on TV. It's in Florida, and they say they have an office that's outside of Phoenix. I don't want to drive down there after what you said about the medical association not being approved, because that's a long ways for me to go with my back problem and then have something happen to me worse and I can't do anything about it?
Well, like I said, because you're paying cash for it, there's probably no guarantee, and Medicare is not going to approve any particular surgery that doesn't have a definable outcome. And there aren't that many people doing it that it really becomes an approved measure. So I think at this point, it would behoove you to try other, non-surgical interventions. But certainly, as more people do laser and pay for it, and they have outcomes to substantiate what they're doing, then it might be covered by Medicare. But until that time, it's probably experimental surgery, really.
Yeah, well, I don't want anybody experimenting on my back.
Well, and who knows? I don't know. I mean, I think it's conservative approach to your back. You may have a certain level of pain that you're going to have to live with, and find some pain management and some modality that's going to give you the best pain relief, but it's not going to take it away completely. So anyway, we're going to go to break, Marvin. So if you want to hang on the phone, we'll come back with you after the break. If not, you can hang up during the break, and we'll talk a little bit about more of that after the break. So thank you for tuning in.